Good morning. My name is Sunny Lee. I use she, her pronouns, and I have the honor to serve as your Dean of Students here at the University of California, Berkeley. Before we begin this event, we take a moment to recognize that Berkeley sits on the territory of Huichin, the ancestral and unceded land of the Chochenyo Ohlone, the successors of the historic and sovereign Verona Band of Alameda County. This land was and continues to be of great importance to the Ohlone people. We recognize that every member of the Berkeley community has and continues to benefit from the use and occupation of this land. Since the institution's founding in 1868, and consistent with our values of community and diversity, we have a responsibility to acknowledge and make visible the university's relationship to Native peoples. By offering this land acknowledgement, we affirm Indigenous sovereignty and will work to hold University of California, Berkeley more accountable to the needs of American Indian and Indigenous peoples. We know that many of you are spread throughout the world on the land of other peoples and would like to take the time to acknowledge that ancestral history as well. I want to welcome all of our students, faculty, staff, parents, family members, and friends. As the Dean of Students, I have the joy and privilege of supporting the success of Cal students. We are joined today by students from around the globe, undergraduate and graduate, new and returning, first year and transfers. Welcome all to the start of a new year at the University of California, Berkeley. It will be a new semester like none the university has ever seen before, but one that we as a Cal community will strive to make better. It is now my pleasure to introduce Kimmy Galing Villegas, a member of the class of 2024, joining us from her home in Fresno, California to present the national anthem. We ask that you rise where you are if you are able. Kimmy.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Kimmy. That was beautiful, and we are so proud to have you joining the community of Golden Bears. It is now my pleasure to introduce Chancellor Carol Christ. Chancellor Christ is the 11th Chancellor of the University. A celebrated scholar of Victorian literature, Chancellor Christ is also well known as an advocate for quality and accessible public higher education, a proponent of the value of a broad education in the liberal arts and sciences, and a champion of women's issues of diversity on college campuses. Chancellor Christ.
Thank you, Sunny. Hello, my name is Carol Christ, and I have the great pleasure of formally, if virtually, welcoming you to the University of California at Berkeley. We're delighted to have you with us as we begin a fall semester that's unlike any other. I have nothing but respect and appreciation for your confidence in yourselves as expressed in your decision to continue your education in these challenging times. And we're humbled by your vote of confidence in this university, in our ability to marshal Berkeley's resources, to adapt, to innovate, to do all that we can possibly can to support your dreams and aspirations. You may be in uncharted territory, but you're not alone. Let us acknowledge and accept a fundamental truth. These times are without a parallel in our lives. Like you, I long for and impatiently wait for the day when our lives return to normal. While these are difficult times for all of us, the pandemic has highlighted and amplified deep racial and socioeconomic disparities among members of our campus community and beyond. As I've said many times in recent months, we may be all in the same storm, but we're most certainly not all in the same boat. For this reason, we developed our plans for this semester through an equity lens to ensure we're doing everything in our power to provide for equity of experience, to identify and mitigate disparities and inequities among members of the campus community, to ensure that every capable student support service is ready and able to provide you with what you need for your health, your well-being, and your academic success. For me, the start of the fall semester, this week of return and renewal, has always been among the most exhilarating of the year. I would walk around the campus thrilled by the energy, the potential, the promise, invigorated by the arrival of our newest golden bears. This morning, beyond my window, lay a quiet campus, the consequence of a situation that has challenged the most basic assumptions about higher education. The world of remote learning and work, of social distancing, bears scant resemblance to what our ideas of college life is meant to be. Place is important. The ties that bind us to each other are important. Actual community is important. Yet I know Berkeley well. We're resilient and our community is strong. And from that springs my hope and confidence that we will rise to the occasion and find virtual ways to foster a true sense of belonging, of connection and mutual support until we're together again. Talk to our faculty, our administrators, our extended family of supportive alumni, and you will find no hint of defeat or despair. Over the course of the last 5 months, the response of our campus community to this crisis has been extraordinary. Many of our scientists have redirected their research programs to vanquishing COVID-19 and its impact on our lives. We devoted the summer to ensuring our remote instruction embodies best practices, investing resources in creating a semester in the cloud, and providing grants to teaching teams to develop remote versions of their courses. My colleagues in student affairs collaborated with many of you to adapt extracurricular programs and student services for online delivery. In all this work, I see enormous creativity, dedication, and resilience. At Berkeley, we are the change makers. Drawing on our proud tradition of perseverance, we've come together to support and advance with strength, creativity, and resilience our mission of education, research, and public service, and our collective commitment to changing the world for the better. We're showing, I believe, how essential the public research university is to our country and to our world. Now more than ever, humanity needs people who believe in science, in the notion of a greater good, in justice, equity, diversity, inclusiveness, and the truth. And these, of course, are the very values that form the foundation of all that Berkeley is and stands for. It is our collective responsibility to ensure it will always be so. We also have a shared responsibility to respond to the three interlocking, complexly interrelated series of events: the pandemic, the economic disruption resulting from it, and urgent self-questioning about social justice and systemic racism. We're living in a historic moment when things are shifting about us in ways that will have a profound impact on the future. In an email to me earlier this summer, biology professor Fyodor Urnov quoted Tolkien, "I wish it need not have happened in my time," said Frodo. "So do I," said Gandalf, "and so do all who live to see such times. But that's not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us." And what we've been given, I believe, is a unique set of opportunities arising from the most historic, consequential moment in our lives. And there's no better place than Berkeley to make the most of it. This may be a perilous time, but so too, it's a time of creative ferment and possibility. And that is prime time for this public university. What animates Berkeley is our belief in and commitment to individual and institutional agency. The notion that through the discovery, development, dissemination, and discussion of knowledge, we can make the world a better place. From these time-honored traits comes our intention to dedicate this year to an in-depth, clear-eyed exploration of social justice, racism, and anti-Blackness. Through a series of lectures and discussions, we will work to reckon with the lasting destruction wrought by the indelible stain of slavery on our nation's past and our continued failure to fully confront and destroy the plagues of racism and anti-Blackness in the current day. We will examine our own actions and environment at this university and ask whether we truly provide the inclusiveness and social mobility that we promise. While I'm proud that this year's incoming class is Berkeley's most diverse in 30 years, there's no cause for self-congratulation or complacency, and allows every student to experience a true sense of belonging. The excellence of our university depends on diversity of thought and perspective, both of which are the result of and profoundly enhanced by the diversity of our campus community. As students, you can play an essential role in our quest for a diverse, equitable, and inclusive community. For example, late last spring, student athletes on our women's basketball team launched an initiative that has led to the formation of a new Racial Justice Council. Working with students and staff, the council will help drive awareness and change on the team, in Cal Athletics, and across the campus. We stand ready to support and facilitate similar wonderful efforts. I urge and invite you all to find new ways to advance the causes and values you believe in. To date, every action in response to the pandemic has been grounded in science, informed by the knowledge and advice of our epidemiologists, and consistent with the dictates of local and state public health officials. The virus has intertwined our individual fates. We're at the mercy of our collective ability, locally, regionally, and nationally, to abide by the demands of the moment and maintain social distancing, to wear masks as directed, to follow instructions for hygiene, to treat others as we ourselves wish to be treated. Yet even with full compliance, it's not possible to predict what the protection of the public's health and our own might require. I'm learning to expect the unexpected and can only promise that we will respond in the future as we have in the past. With your health and well-being front and center, with communications both timely and accurate, and with compassion and support for all who are in need. I believe there's no false optimism in my conviction that the virus will be vanquished and that there will be a day after. I hope you will take full advantage of all that's on offer so you're ready to do your part when that day comes. I believe Berkeley is uniquely equipped to meet the demands and opportunities of these times. And I know there's no other place that I would rather be, physically or virtually, in good times or in bad. To our new students, you light the way to our collective future. I'm so glad you're here. Fiat Lux, and go Bears.
Thank you, Chancellor Christ. You continue to inspire us to excel beyond our expectations. Our next speaker is one of Cal's fabulous faculty. Professor Dacher Keltner is a member of the psychology department, as well as co-director of the Greater Good Science Center. You can recognize him from his Science of Happiness online classes, or as one of the consultants on Pixar's Inside and Out movie, which is one of my all-time favorite films. Professor Keltner is here to represent the faculty and welcoming everyone to campus this fall. Professor Keltner.
Thank you, Sunny. Chancellor Christ, Berkeley colleagues, family and friends, and class of 2024, congratulations on entering UC Berkeley and welcome to our wonderful university. You enter your undergraduate years during extraordinary times of a pandemic, a recession, fires today, Black Lives Matter protests, deep concerns about our democracy, and really an election for the ages. Climate emergency, economic inequality, and racism are very real. There's also a time of women and people of color rising to power in historic levels, worldwide drops in poverty, rising life expectancies, and empirical data showing that our entering students are the most intelligent and attuned in human history. During your 4 years here, amidst the changes of mind, the crises that you're gonna have, you will find a major or two. And I promise you, having been here for 25 years and following the lives of UC Berkeley graduates, you will do extraordinary work in the world. You will also make friends who will last a lifetime and live stories that you will tell into your gray-haired days. And yes, I promise you, and your parents are worried about this, some of you will fall in love. And just as importantly, you will ask questions that humans have been asking since we started to think about the human condition. What brings me happiness? What is my purpose in life? How can I serve something larger than myself? And as Chancellor Christ said, there's no better place than UC Berkeley to ask these questions, to define paths forward to answers that you will be pursuing for the rest of your life. For the past 20 years, I've taught the science of happiness here at UC Berkeley and online, and I've carried out hundreds of studies in my lab on the topic of what makes us happy. And it is really a simple story, but it is always complex in how we carry it out during our times. What we've learned is that you need to find a way to handle stress. You need to learn to breathe, to put things into a bigger perspective, to tell stories about your lives. You need to cherish your relationships above all. As UC Berkeley graduate Belinda Campos has recently shown, our relationships are much more important to our well-being and our health than our money, our status in life. And then finally, you need to find regular daily ways to experience emotions like gratitude and awe, laughter, love, joy, and pleasure. With these kinds of practices, the science shows your nervous system changes, you gain 5 to 10 years of life expectancy, your work, even rigorous scientific work or work in the humanities becomes more rigorous, and your relationships and your engagement with community become more satisfying. It is a rock solid science. In my 20 years of teaching this at UC Berkeley, I've arrived at what I will call the Berkeley way, which has very handily the acronym BEARS that I'm going to walk you through. You are all bears now. We are bears. We are a family of bears. And it is a simple way to find happiness during your times at Berkeley and beyond. The B in BEARS stands for breathe. So let's just take a moment now. And in the thousands of people out there, and I've been teaching this in digital ways, let's just take a very deep breath. I want you to breathe in deeply. And as you exhale, follow the breath through your nose and out into the world. So what we know scientifically is that simple process of deep breathing, exhaling in particular, activates the vagus nerve. It deactivates what we call the HPA axis, which is part of your stress response. Deep breathing is foundational to a lot of contemplative traditions, and it's a way that we handle our stresses on a daily basis. What I challenge the class of 2024 is what I challenge my students in the science of happiness, which is find a place on campus where you're social distancing, and just once a week or so, spend a few minutes taking some deep breaths like that and feel your body calm and your stresses gain perspective. The E in BEARS is empathize. Try to think and feel what others think and feel. It engages massive parts of your prefrontal cortex. It is what the brain in many ways has been designed to do. Historians noted Abraham Lincoln and his particular political genius, identifying that his signature strength was his capacity for empathy. One wrote that he listened to everybody who came to him and read every letter that was written to him. Percy Shelley, the great writer, wrote that to be great, we need to imagine intensely and comprehensively and put ourselves in the places of other people. So I challenge the class of 2024 to empathize, to ask questions, to listen, to imagine what others think. This university has, in my view, the most brilliant, challenging minds that I've ever encountered in young people. But it is also, as Chancellor Christ noted, a profoundly diverse place of differing opinions. Really empathize and listen and engage in the views of others. And my challenge to the class of 2024 during this time as we handle the virus is each week ask a question of a new Berkeley friend that you've made as you are making your transition to UC Berkeley. The A in BEARS is appreciate. Take a moment to find what you are grateful for, to feel has been given to you that is a privilege. When I teach this science of happiness in San Quentin prison, which I have the privilege of doing from time to time, I ask them, the prisoners, what are they grateful for? And the answers tell us how powerful this capacity is, that they're grateful for being outside and the air they breathe and reading and touching their child, which is denied to them. Adam Smith, the great economist, said that the duties of gratitude are perhaps the most sacred. So reflect on what you're grateful for as you make this transition to Berkeley. Think a moment right now, you students and family members, even though we're facing this virus, what are you grateful for about this opportunity? The R in BEARS is revere, to honor what brings you awe, what we feel is vast and beyond our comprehension. There are always things beyond our comprehension. It is a foundational idea in some of the greatest traditions of thought, from Confucianism to Greek philosophy, is reverence, to make note of things that are sacred to us. Our campus is brimming with opportunities to find reverence and to really feel a sense of awe. Sproul Plaza is where our free speech movement took place and got off the ground and changed the world. The Campanile gives you a view of the bay at 220 feet. The redwoods are ancient and the streams are beautiful. I hope you all go to Greek theater when we are back up and open to take in the reverence of what is offered there. Find awe during your times at Berkeley. And finally, the S is story. As Chancellor Christ and our people, our professors in the humanities would tell you, your life is a story. It is like a novel that you are continually writing of chapters and characters and settings and conflicts and acts of redemption. And what strikes me most about the UC Berkeley undergrads that I've taught and worked with over the past 25 years is their commitment that their life story is really about something good. It's about contributing to the greater good in the world. Toni Morrison, the Nobel Prize-winning novelist and professor, said about her writing, which changed the world, I have become more and more invested in making sure acts of goodness produce language. Her work was about bringing good to the world. For 20 years, UC Berkeley's Greater Good Science Center has been giving this away for free in the spirit of public education. You can check that out, families, students, and friends at greatergood.berkeley.edu. Class of 2024, you'll have amazing lives here at Berkeley of ideas, discovery, wonder, laughter, and even love. You'll do amazing things here at Berkeley and after. You will be the generation that meets the challenges of climate change, and you will see us shed our history of racism. But make sure that the pursuit of happiness is part of that journey. I really look forward to seeing you around campus. Thank you, and congratulations and good luck to all of you.
Thank you, Professor Keltner. We will now turn our focus to our new students. Our next speaker this morning is Cal's Assistant Vice Chancellor and Director of Admissions, and my good colleague, Femi Egundeli, who has some words of welcome to share with you. Femi.
Good morning, Golden Bear family. It's my distinct honor to introduce you all to the Frosh class of 2024 and our new transfer class of 2022. Welcome and thank you all for joining us. I'm so incredibly excited to be here with you all today. You should take pride in knowing that you all distinguished yourself amongst 108,000 applications to Berkeley this year and are now here to write your chapter in the storied history of this great institution. This is more than a moment. With so much racial and gender division in our nation, with protests in our communities, as calls for justice and equity grow louder by the day, this new wave of Golden Bears boasts the most diverse group of scholars we've welcomed in over 3 decades. And I would say you're all right on time. This cohort of entering scholars has more Black and Latinx scholars than we've had in a decade. Scholars from more than 84 countries, nearly every state across the nation and county in California. And of course, I have to give a shout out to our more than 1,900 Bay Area high school graduates and community college graduates. Many of the students are the first in their family to go to college. Many are like me, the child of immigrants. This class of scholars is not only diverse, they are excellent by every measure. They have built strong leadership skills through clubs, jobs, honor societies, have logged substantial community service hours, and have overcome incredible challenges both inside and outside the classroom. James Baldwin once said, "You have to decide who you are and force the world to deal with you, not with its idea of you." You, all of you, represent the very best entering colleges this year. We had an extraordinary pool of talented students, but in the end, we were looking for you. Collectively, you all bring your journey to the world's best public flagship university. To the class of 2022 and 2024, Berkeley has a long legacy of creating future leaders, alums that impact the world, and current students who do not wait their turn to address the problems they see in our society. They get up and go for it every day. I am confident this class will include many people who are ready to meet those challenges, create new knowledge, and make our society a better place. We know together we will change the lives of millions of people here in California and around the world. So whatever you are driven to pursue, drive towards it with all your passion and effort and commitment. Your time here at Berkeley is going to be revolutionary and exciting. You're joining a scholarly community that is finding their moment to make their mark on this world. Your experience at Berkeley will be rewarding and provide you with opportunities to grow and stretch your minds and perspectives. Yes, your time at Berkeley will be many things, but it will not be easy. You will be challenged here, tested by our faculty and by your peers. You will have intellectual clashes, and spirited debates. You will find yourself in these moments, changed or fortified in your own beliefs. Chancellor Christa and the Berkeley family, I am pleased to present to you all the Frosh class of 2024 and the transfer class of 2022, the most diverse in recent history, and I look forward to the many contributions they will make as they set their sights to greatness and leaving their legacies as California Golden Bears. Thank you, welcome home, and go Bears.
Thank you so much, Femi, for that and so much more. Next, it is my great privilege to introduce Cruz Grimaldo. She is the Assistant Vice Chancellor and Director of Financial Aid and Scholarships. Cruz leads a team responsible for distributing over $725 million to Cal students. Cruz.
Thank you so much, Sunny. Congratulations, everyone, and welcome to Berkeley. Felicidades y bienvenidos y bienvenidas a Berkeley. Yo amo Berkeley. I love Berkeley. It transformed my life, and since you are here with us today, trust that it will transform yours. As Sunny said, I'm the Assistant Vice Chancellor and Director of Financial Aid and Scholarships, and I also support Cal Student Central, our one-stop shop for financial aid, billing, and enrollment questions. And we are all delighted to welcome you to Berkeley. You are Berkeley. Ustedes son Berkeley. As we look at our world today, we need creative, innovative students just like you to help solve the most complex problems. And we are so thankful and excited that you are here today. Berkeley is home to world-renowned faculty, brilliant students like you, and caring staff in a life-affirming environment in one of the most vibrant cities in the world. And even though the start of this fall semester is remote, and you will experience the campus from both near and far, this is home, home sweet home. And not just for your years as a student, but for forever. And our purpose is to support you. In my role, I help keep the campus focused on our guiding mission of transforming lives through scholarship. And this has been our charge for over 150 years. Financial Aid and Scholarships is a founding equity program on our campus, and we help build a diverse community of scholars from a wide range of economic backgrounds. Most students at Berkeley receive some form of financial aid, and it is our goal to provide robust support to you so that you can thrive as a student, graduate, and be proud of your investment. Most Berkeley students graduate with no loan debt, and those who do take out loans borrow nearly $10,000 less than their peers nationwide. As Director of Financial Aid and Scholarships, I want you to know that a Berkeley education is attainable, invaluable, and infinitely bountiful. We also care deeply about you and your families, and I know these are hard times. Our diverse team of professionals are here to support you every step of the way as you obtain a world-class education. We have amazing staff in student affairs, equity and inclusion, undergraduate education across all the schools and colleges, and so many other staff members behind the scenes who are deeply committed to your success. And while hundreds of thousands of students may come through our doors, we hold sacred our responsibility as advisors to provide accurate, credible guidance attuned to your specific needs. Your scholarly development and growth is utmost. As student development professionals, we prioritize your empowerment and agency and support you as you strive towards your academic and, even more importantly, as you cultivate your holistic wellness. We want to partner with you, and we are here for you. Gracias, and go Bears.
Thank you so much, Cruz. Next, I would like to introduce you to one of our wonderful campus staff members. Dr. Shauna Dark is the Chief Academic Technology Officer and Executive Director for Research, Teaching, and Learning. She has spent the last year devising new technologies for academic learning. Shauna.
Thank you, and welcome to Berkeley. We are so excited to begin the semester with you. This is such an unusual and unprecedented time. There are a few things I want you to know about your remote experience this fall. The first is, for years, Berkeley has been recognized for its innovation. We have been instrumental in the development of tools that people are using throughout higher education throughout the world during this COVID crisis. This is a proud moment for Berkeley. And since last March, we have focused our services to support instruction during COVID and continue to innovate. We are thrilled to have you, and we are to support your success at Berkeley. I want to respond to 3 questions you might have. First, what technical services are available to support you? You can find it about technology support and needs at the Student Affairs IT Student Tech website. That's studenttech.berkeley.edu. On this website, you will find access to a variety of resources you will need, including essential software such as Zoom and associated training materials, information about our wonderful STEP program, where you can access laptops, Wi-Fi hotspots, and other essential equipment, access to our Berkeley mobile app with tools and resources, even COVID-related, to to help you navigate your first year here, and information about how technical support. Second, what are we doing to ensure you have the continued high quality educational experience Berkeley offers as a world-class university? You can find information about what we are doing to support instruction at the Berkeley Keep Teaching webpage. On this webpage, you will discover the hard work our faculty are engaging in to ensure we live up to standards of a Berkeley education. This includes information about technology available for faculty, information about our semester in the cloud program, a program where we have redesigned 30 plus high impact courses with support from our staff who specialize in online pedagogy, and access to our course of remote learning. Over 1,000 instructors have enrolled in this course. And finally, how will we protect you and your privacy in a remote environment? We take your privacy very seriously and encourage you to do the same. On the Student Affairs IT website, you will find several resources to enhance the security of your remote experience. A few tips: please use VPN. It will allow you to access library materials and other systems and services in addition to being more secure. Visit the Student Affairs website and review the security recommendations. Download the mobile app so you can stay on top of the latest campus information. And finally, please give us your feedback, as we need your feedback, and as you enjoy our campus community. We want to hear from you so we can meet your needs. Welcome to Berkeley. You are going to love this exciting journey. Go Bears.
Thank you, Shauna. And now we have a short video about our standards of community that we ask all Golden Bears to adhere to, no matter where you are in the world, but particularly if you find yourself physically on campus this semester.
Can't wait to get back to campus.
Wear a mask.
Can't wait to get back to class.
Can't wait to get back to the lab.
Wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
All bears should be fighting this virus. Bears protect bears.
Bears protect bears.
Bears protect bears.
Bears protect bears.
Osos protegen osos.
Wear a mask. Save a life.
Let us unite as one community. Bears protect bears.
It is my honor to introduce you to your ASUC president or Associated Students of the University of California, your student government. This year's president is Victoria Vera, a fourth-year political science major who identifies as a first-generation EOP Chicana feminist. Victoria.
Thank you, Sunny. Good morning, UC Berkeley. I am so excited to welcome you all back to another academic year. This year will be unlike any other academic year the university has experienced. We are entering this year in the midst of a global pandemic. We are seeing the impacts of climate change, and we need to address the anti-Blackness that is rooted in our society. All these conversations are not easy, but they are necessary. When thinking about the Golden Bear community, one word comes to mind: resilience. Our community comes to UC Berkeley with a wide range of lived experiences and a broad world perspective. These experiences have informed our community's passion and advocacy, but also how it prevails in times of uncertainty. My most valuable educational experiences have come from outside the classroom. Yes, UC Berkeley has rigorous academics that set us apart from most universities, but our community is more than academics. It is our custodial staff, the faculty, the administrators, community organizers, residents of Berkeley, our peers, and many more. These individuals continually reimagine what resiliency can be. Our Cal community is not about shedding our differences, but utilizing them as a tool to enhance our learning. This is how we learn to be innovative with our teaching, academics, how we address campus climate, and many more issues that arise. That we as a collective can come together and overcome these obstacles. In order to help and protect the entire community, no matter where you are in the world, we ask that you go onto your Cal Central and read and accept the Keep Berkeley Healthy Pledge. We can all do our part to make sure that we stay safe and stay healthy, and to help stop the spread of the coronavirus. The pledge helps us all stay responsible and accountable to each other. Golden Bears, I am so excited to see you on campus one day, and I wish you all the luck and that you may keep your resiliency high during these times. Go Bears.
Thank you so much for that, Victoria. Our final speaker of the day is President of the Graduate Assembly, Luis Tenorio. Luis is a doctoral student in sociology with research interests in immigration and migration, children and youth, and political sociology. Luis.
Good morning, everyone. To the graduate students that are here listening, welcome. But before I address the students particularly, I want to take some time to congratulate Chancellor Christ, the faculty that are present through the academic units that are present here today, to the other staff and administrators. You are all incredibly lucky to be receiving such a brilliant class of graduate students, and to the undergraduates as well that will have the graduate students as part of their campus experience. And I really want to emphasize here how lucky we are to have you, the graduate students, as part of this community. You are and run through the current of what makes this institution shine. We need you, and I want to make sure that one of the very first things that you hear on your time on campus, even virtually, is that you belong here. There's no amount of times or different ways in which I can convey that is sufficient. You belong here. The other thing that I want to say is congratulations. You're entering into a class of graduate students and a community that has been part of core to Berkeley's excellence, whether it be advancing its educational mission, in teaching its undergraduates, in inspiring the discovery of undergraduates and pushing the research of its faculty members, or in its research mission, and even just in the overall community, as we saw since the beginning of the shutdown, with departments organizing grocery runs and mutual aid care packages. You are at the core of its excellence and its brilliance, and are coming into a vibrant, vocal, and vivacious community. In just the 5 years that I've been on campus, I have seen the colors of Sproul Hall be lit up in the pride color flag when we had speakers come that were inciting violence on campus, thanks to the organizing of graduate students. I've seen community being brought to campus, fighting for better compensation for the high cost of living in the Bay Area, thanks to graduate students. I have also seen fights for a public health approach to university campus safety through the organizing of campus students. You are all incredibly core to everything that we do here, and we need you. The second thing that I want to emphasize is that we are here to support you, whether it be I, as president of the Graduate Assembly, the graduate division, the number of faculty and administrators here. We are all invested in your success and want you to shine. The last thing I want to leave you with is a thank you in advance. Oftentimes, I cannot guarantee that your efforts will go recognized, but I want to let you know that they are not in vain. Whether it is the student that in their evaluation of your class leaves you with a note saying that you are the first Latinx instructor that they've ever had, or the undergraduate student that tells you, thank you for using pronouns that are not he or she, because now I feel like I am seen and I belong. Or even to the instances where you reach out and show compassion amongst one another. I can thank you confidently in advance because I know that you will do a great job in uplifting this community and making it all that I am proud to serve and be a part of. Thank you and welcome to Berkeley.
Thank you so much, Luis. Thank you all for joining us for our first ever virtual convocation ceremony. Although we cannot all be together in person, it is still an honor to be able to share the campus community with you. For those of you participating in all that Golden Bear orientation has to offer, enjoy your time and make those connections with your departments, groups, and organizations that will help you thrive here at Berkeley. The first orientation leader small group meeting will immediately follow convocation, and new students should join the Zoom link shared by your orientation leader via email. Now, to our newest Golden Bears, welcome, and to our returning ones, welcome back. And the count of 3, say go Bears with me wherever you're in the world. 1, 2, 3, go Bears!
Go Bears!